Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a Lego set and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bearcade, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. Would love to see it. If you're not a subscriber, you can say hi. If you don't want to chat, that's also okay. We got Lastbrook and we got Mr. Halo saying, Happy Licensed Lego Monster Truck Monday, Pat. Indeed. Welcome to Monster Truck Monday. And Lord Crashington just subscribed tier 1 for 25 months saying, Hope everything is going well down there in AC. Keep being awesome. Also, sorry about sharing the Transformers tweet in the Discord. That is okay, Lord Crashington. You do you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for 25 months. Appreciate it very much. Let's throw the Barricade Legos at the moat in chat. So I wasn't mad at you. I am annoyed that apparently several broadcasters around the world just called that Gundam a transformer, the life-size unicorn Gundam, to scale, I should say, unicorn Gundam in Japan, that you could see in the background of several Olympic events. Meant there were just people that were calling it a transformer. Some people call it a robot. At least one person did call it the Unicorn Gundam. So they got some of the name right and at least looked it up. I know, but it was funny enough that I had to share despite knowing the response I get. Yeah, I'm Lord Gretchen to share to the Discord, that, and it's just like, no, no, it's a Gundam. Do your research. Come on. They built a big giant robot in Japan. You should know what it is. Damn it. Anyway, as mentioned by Mr. Hato in the chat previously, also, you want to make sure, Lucretion, thanks for subbing. Mr. Hato, hi. Lashbrook, hi. Okay, I think I've said hi to everybody that's here. If you're here, you can also chat, and I will say hello to you. That's how it works. I wouldn't rule out that they knew and wanted those clicks. I mean, that's also a possibility, which also sucks for a different reason and in a different way. So, yeah. Okay, we got a lot to talk about here. We're working on the Lego Monster Jam Max D. Monster Jam is a promotion, I guess, a monster truck rally company, and the Max D is one of their monster trucks. So this is a licensed product, and we're going to be taking advantage of the Lego, this piece of Lego, because it's a Technic. This piece of Lego right here. This is going to, the back part here, you can see that has some orange there. That is going to be connected to the wheels, some of the wheels. And when we pull back the vehicle, this will turn and then we'll push forward. So we will get momentum beyond just pushing the big monster truck. Also, do want to point out giant tires. These are big old tires because it's a monster truck. And you got to have big tires for a monster truck. So we're going to be building that. I've been doing this lately, which I really enjoy. Here are some topics that I am going to be broaching during the stream, and maybe they'll become conversation. Maybe they'll just be a one note. We will talk about PAX Australia postponement. We will talk about the movie Adolescence of Utena, which is and where it's available and how you should go watch it if you have not seen it. We will talk about a manga that I was reading that I think I'm giving up on, which is called The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat. Which I truly believe is the longest title for an isekai, because I do think it's actually longer than My Next Life as a Villain is All Roots Lead to Doom. I think this might be the longest one. The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat. Because also, when it becomes an anime, I hope they drop the as aristocrat because it's unnecessary. It does. You just say the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated. Like you don't even need another world or as an aristocrat. Just do that. Whatever. We'll talk about Taskmaster New Zealand. We'll talk about the Back for Blood beta because I played it last night, weirdly enough. And we'll talk about Sony's approved, gonna happen, is a done deal acquisition of Crunchyroll. So we're going to get into, so we have a lot we can talk about if the conversation leads in those directions. Of course, we're talking about two anime shows that I watched because I did watch two in the second hour. We'll get into those. But those are the topics that I have written down here because I'm trying to do that. I should mention, you can see them right over there, right over there. We are currently at 43 subscribers, which is fucking awesome. And I appreciate you all and thank you very much for that. But I would love to get to 50. 50 is the goal. 50 is where I don't have the notifications on and I don't mention it. But we would like to get to 50 subscribers here. I would like to for the channel because that is a pretty much guarantee that I will get a payment every month. Once you get past 40, you're looking like you're definitely going to be able to do that. And that means, depending on, where that income is coming in, prime versus regular countries, all that stuff. 50's like, okay, it looks like you're going to get paid. So that's what we're going for. So if you've been thinking about subscribing, you've been thinking about gifting a sub, now would be a great time to do it. And I appreciate it very much. But also you being here means a lot too. So don't worry about that. I'm going to retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to come in and join us. I know that my Lego isn't always as popular as my Gundam streams, which is okay, and I get it. But to say, I wanted to build a cool monster truck, and also I like building Lego because it is less stressful for me than model kits. So sometimes I just want to do it. All right, so let's get into it. You can see right there, that's what we're going to do. We do have a bunch of decals, as is the way. I have color separated this, lots of connectors. This kit, actually, we're not probably, we're most likely going to finish this tonight. This will be a one stream build because it's 200 something pieces, 230 pieces. So that's not a lot. So we should be doing this in one stream because most of them are like connectors. This is going to be like a pretty hollow thing. A lot of flat plant panels and connectors because it's a monster truck. It doesn't have a lot of stuff because it has to have big tires and big suspension. So yeah, so let's get into it. You can see you got my structure there. This is a 2-in-1, so we can do the regular monster truck, and then there's like an alternative monster truck we could build, which is like, they call it a quad bike. So it's like a giant quad bike. I don't think we're gonna do that. I kind of don't want to do that. So I don't think we'll. Mr. Handel says you should try and pull up some footage on YouTube of this truck for reference. I appreciate that. I am that is a good suggestion, but I have 0 copyright strikes here on Twitch, and I would like to continue doing that. So I am not going to be putting copyrighted material like video on the stream. No problem at all, Mr. Hadel, and I appreciate that. That is a fun suggestion, and I suggest all of you go out and take a look. But yeah, I'm very worried about copyright stuff on here, both for this and the archive, which will go up on YouTube later as well. So far, I have had no dings for video games or video game music, but on here, I have had dings for music on my Twitch. So I might delete all my Twitch streams off of my YouTube. I'm thinking I might have to do that just to protect myself in the future. So I don't know. That is something I'm thinking about. Okay, so we're gonna put this on here. As I said, this is the mechanism that's gonna make this like move around. So we're gonna connect these here. There we go. Let's snap together. And then we're just building stuff up. We're gonna pop this up. We're gonna make some stuff. This is the only tan piece we got here. Okay, so let's get into some news. Let's talk about some stuff. So this came on, got released moments ago, right before stream. An announcement from the PAX Australia Twitter account, basically saying, "Hey, looking at this, blah blah, health and safety. Yes, yes, yes. We are postponing PAX Australia 2021 to PAX Australia 2022." So it's not cancellation; it's a postponement. But folks are totally eligible for a refund, which is good. That is good to hear and good news for folks that were trying to make it out there. And I'm sure that decision doesn't come lightly, and I'm sure it is not the preferred outcome, but it's probably for the best. I think anyone that's like planning a trip to any convention has to understand the possibility that they don't get to do the thing. That it might, and possibly will get canceled. Um, and I I can't imagine they were going to get a lot of international travel. I mean, maybe like New Zealand, possibly Japan. The Arctic Sloth says, "Hi Pat, first time here. I love a good truck. Well, welcome. Thank you for the follow as well. Welcome, welcome. I'm currently searching for a connector piece that I cannot find, and the possibility might be that it's actually not dark gray and is instead light gray. We'll look at the light gray as well. That is a thing that I run into sometimes here because of my eyesight. That sometimes I'm looking at a piece and I'm going, why can't I find this? And it is because I am looking for a light gray piece and it's a dark gray piece, or vice versa. But I think this is a dark gray piece. Yeah, because that's a light gray. So this is light gray, so I'm looking for a dark gray. So now I have to go through all my dark grays to find the one piece I needed, which was this. I found it. So yeah, PAX Australia is postponed to a later date. They make mention of the possibility of having another PAX Online. Well, PAX Australia was part of the PAX West and PAX Australia last year. So this year it looks like they would just do a PAX Australia online. And it sounds like that is something that they are going to be talking about doing, which, cool for them. Hmm. Oh, I'm putting this in the wrong spot. This. Got it. Um, so yeah, on the one hand, I'm sure that there are a lot of people disappointed, but also that's good that they're doing it because it was weird that there wasn't like a you must be vaccinated thing happening with Pox Australia, so that was strange. But it was probably like, well, let's not announce that if it looks like we're actually canceling it. Uh, so yeah, that's what ended up happening. Nothing, I didn't know anybody going this year, which I would say makes sense, probably for the best. Let's see. Other things I want to talk to you about. Small. We'll talk about some small things, and we'll get into like some quote unquote big things. I was reading a manga that I've only got a couple chapters in, but I'm done with because sometimes I like to watch some shows that are like read the manga of a show that's going to come out next season. I like doing that every once in a while, just kind of getting like a sense of like what's this going to look like, what is this, what's this going to be. And so I was checking out the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat, which is the literal translation of the web novel and the manga. And I don't know if that's what the title is going to be completely. I would hope that they would not make it that long of a title, but who knows? Um, but that is a show that I was watching, um, or a story I was reading, which is setting up for the show. It is the story of an older gentleman who was at the time considered to be the world's greatest assassin. He was looking towards retirement. He was doing literally one last job, and then he was murdered by him being on a plane where someone had killed the pilots. And then when he took control of the plane, he saw that there were bombers because it was a passenger plane. There were literal like winged bombers shooting missiles at him. And he's like, oh, well, I am dead. They wouldn't let me retire. That sucks. He's like, if I get the chance to do it again, my hope is that I could live a better life. And he is, wakes up and a goddess is like, hey, normally we would just recycle your soul. And we got a lot of souls here, and we need more souls in this other place, so we would normally just send you there. But your skills are required. And this is kind of interesting because a lot of times reincarnations are in isekai, they are like, you had a hard life, so we're going to give you another opportunity, or this is an accident, or you were summoned here. This is kind of interesting and different in that it's like, hey, no, we need you in this other realm. Like we have a problem you need to take care of. And the problem is this god is like, well, okay, so here's what's happening. Um, it's a world of magic, yada yada. There's a hero, and in the future, this hero is going to defeat the Demon King. Hell yeah! But this hero will let the powers that they have go wild. Something will happen, and this unstoppable person will use his powers or their powers for evil, and they will basically decimate the world and cause the collapse of it. Because this person was given powers of the gods, we aren't going to interfere, which doesn't seem like a good reason. But we can loophole, send somebody else out there and give them some advantages, and that's you. And so he's like, so you want me to kill this hero? Can I at any point? And they're like, no. You have to kill the hero after they defeat the Demon King, but before they go berserk. Uh, and so he's reincarnated, and they're like, we're going to put you in a family of assassins, so you'll be trained in magic, so you can use magic in the world. You can choose some powers, yada yada yada. So the thing about it is, it's got a really interesting premise. Like I'm excited about the premise, right? But he's not. So the thing is, you have your main character who is a trained assassin now in a world of magic, who is going to try to kill a hero, right? So is he the villain because he's going to destroy this hero and the world will see him as a villain for a crime that he has been told this villain will commit, or this hero will eventually commit? Is he justified in doing it? What does it mean, that the fact that he wanted to start over, but he's still an assassin? What does it mean that he has like a loving household, which he never had, and he has like responsibilities? What does any of this mean? And the manga does not seem, from what I have read of it, which is some but not a lot, it does not seem interested in answering any of these questions, which is frustrating because I would like it to be interested in any of the questions that it is posing. Instead, it's just like this very generic, overpowered main character is overpowered and a main character, good at all this stuff, like, you know, is an OP build and is figuring stuff out. Most of the time, seems to have no problems. Uh, because he was raised an assassin and kind of has like didn't really have a childhood. He's like seemingly unaware that he has like ladies who love him. Uh, he seems to be like totally like, oh yeah, of course they would. Uh, he kind of gets it at a certain point. It's mostly just like an interesting premise that is nothing is done with. I'm not surprised it's getting picked up. I'd be interested to see what changes they make if they try to lighten it, because that often happens. I don't think this is a light show, so I don't know how they would do that. But I don't think they can go as dark and as deep as they want to with it, or as it needs to go. So I don't know. Basically, I don't think it's that good, and I don't think I'm going to keep reading it. But I will probably check out the. Let's see, how many of this? 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So it's small size. Okay, great. I will probably check it out as an anime because I do watch a lots of isekai because I enjoy the genre. But I don't know, how much. It's not high on my priority list. Um, but I am looking to check out because I did like the Skeletal Knight. Which I thought was fun and kind of cool, and I like the character design. I'm really wondering. So a thing about Skeletal Knight is, dude's got a skeleton for a face because he's cursed. Uh, he says he's cursed, but really he is just a dude that was using an avatar that is now his body in a world sort of like the video game he was playing. So now he's like, well, my avatar was a skeleton, so now I'm a skeleton. Oh no. Which I do think it's a pretty fun idea, and I have enjoyed the premise of that manga, and so I am looking forward to that anime because I did like the most I or for the most part I enjoyed that manga. So I don't know. I'm trying to going through, trying to just check things out. Um, I'm still thinking about doing that time I got reincarnated as no, sorry. I'm still thinking about doing Soma Spider. So what? I'm still thinking about checking that out because it would be interesting to see since the anime is taking cues from the light novel. It'll be interesting to read the manga, which is almost I believe exclusively from the point of view of the spider. So that sounds like it might be fun to check out. So I don't know. That's kind of next on the old agenda. All right. So real quick, um, if you are a big fan of Utena, if you've watched the television program, which is available on Crunchyroll, I believe. No, it's available on Funimation. Sorry, it's available on Funimation. So if you watched Utena, um, the Adolescence of Utena, which is a movie that is done in a very surrealist, weird style, that is available right now on Retro Crush. So you can watch it on Retro Crush, dubbed and or subbed. So you can watch it either way. I highly recommend it. I think it is a fantastic movie. You can watch it if you have not seen Utena. You can watch it if you have seen Utena. It is pretty standalone. I think it would work better if you do have that background, but if you don't, you totally can. Oh, I forgot that I didn't put this up there, and so I want to do that. And for folks joining, didn't see the intro portion, I'm currently at 43 subscribers. The goal is to hit 50 subscribers. So if you'd like to subscribe, if you're interested in doing that with a Twitch Prime giving token or Cash Money, or if you would like to gift a sub to somebody in the community, those would be great, and I would love to get back up to 50. But also, you don't have to. I haven't seen it since college, but that movie is so weird. You're right, Last Rook. It's very weird. It is. Um, I hadn't used the terminology of surrealist in watching it at first, but it was. But somebody had described it as such, and I was like, "Oh no, okay, yeah, no, that's the right descriptor. That is what it is. It is very much a realist piece or a surrealist piece. It is so weird and great, and it's so strange they got made. And I just think it is a fantastic piece uh, of, uh, uh, of storytelling and visually just so great. So I highly recommend Adolescence of Utena if you are looking for something to watch. It is available on Retro Crush. I do not know if Retro Crush is available where you are. I know it is available in the United States. I believe it is also available in Canada. I cannot confirm if it is available worldwide. So restrictions apply. But it seems pretty cool. So check it out. Or no, it seems like it might be available for you. So check it out. All right. We'll put red connectors here. Okay, we are moving through stuff I want to talk about, which is great. Um, okay, this is a very short one. I talked about the United States over the weekend. I talked about how I had watched for the first time the United States version of. Sorry, let me just see which way they want to do this. I don't think it matters, but I watched the United States version of Taskmaster, which was bad. Ron Funches is a delight, but the other contestants were miscast. The host was Reggie Watch is a fine host who also does NFTs, so we don't love that. But he is a fine host in other things, but not in this show. It was a poor choice, and it was a mean for mean sake vibe instead of these moments are real and honest and therefore some of them are mean. uh, and it was definitely not a playful experience and not enjoyable to watch, so I really disliked that. But I was hearing from people, they were like, well, you should watch the New Zealand version. The 2 seasons are all on YouTube, and I watched both seasons, and they are a delight. Great cast of people who genuinely seem like they want to be there, which rules. Oh, I do want to point out. So these here are similar but different sizes, and literally they're just like, not this one, this one. You can and they're two scales, so you can be like, oh yeah, you want me to have this one You don't want to use the 2 shorter ones. Got it. That is very nice. I love you. Look, you love to see it. That's excellent. So, like I said, watching the New Zealand version of Taskmaster, it is great. On my Twitter today, I linked to a video talking about the UK version of Taskmaster and why it is, and kind of going. It's a video essay talking about like the positives, the reasons why it succeeds. I think as a good explainer for people, but basically, it is just like comedians get tasked with a thing, with nonsense tasks that they are judged on, and it is very funny. Uh, and they get judged in front. They do them in advance, and they get judged in front of a live audience, and so you get that audience reaction. They do one thing an episode that is for the audience or in directly in front of the audience, which is a nice touch, and it's cool. And then also, instead of the traditional thing that you would find in panel shows where you have a like you have like, oh, somebody new every single week, which is popular in Britain. This is the same performers every week for a series, which is, I think, like at most 8 episodes. And so they were like, well, yeah, it's a little bit more like a sitcom where you have the same people. That was like how they had to sell it, because this is an unusual program at first. Also, they couldn't do a pilot; kind of had to shoot all of it, so they basically needed somebody to pick it up, like based on the Edinburgh Fringe Festival version of it, and then be like, okay, well, we want to make that a TV show. Here's how we would do it if you gave us the money to do a season, which is why the first season is the shortest season outside of the championships. But yeah, these are basically shocks, which is just fun that we're putting them on there. I can't tell you if any of this is accurate to how monster trucks are built and run, because that is not information that I have available to me, or knowledge that I have. But if you know, well, now you know. We're gonna get some stickers on here. We're putting our first decals on. Gonna get the parts we need here and put some decals on them in a moment. Gotta find the other one. Found it. Anyway, so yeah, it's on YouTube. Also, a lot of the British Taskmaster. Not every season. I believe all episodes of the first 7 seasons are available, and the championships, which happened after the 5th season. I believe those are all available, and then later seasons are like episodes or bits here and there. So it's not the full experience, but it's still, still good. Still a good show that I recommend. All right, so number 5. That's okay. Number 5 on here. I'm going to use this fudger to help put these on. You could also, if you wanted to, use, our brick separator. We could do that, but we're just going to apply this. Yep. Sticky butterfingers, I should say. I said sticky fingers, which is not what I have right now. I have butter. The Max D, because that's the vehicle that we're building. So we got to put the sticker on here that lets us know this is the Max D. And we got to do the same thing on the other side. I'm actually gonna put this sticker on. Hey. Yeah, it goes like that. All right, we're gonna put the other sticker on there. I'm just gonna do it on the thing. I think that's a good idea. Okay. Now we'll get into one of our 2 bigger topics for the night. The first topic we're going to talk about here is the fact that I played some Back 4 Blood. Now, if you haven't seen Back 4 Blood, it is many of the people that worked on the Left 4 Dead series started their own studio to do their own, it's called Back Number 4 Blood. So yeah, but there's a beta. Now this was the invite beta, and then there is going to be a pre-order people's beta. so you can get in early if you pre-ordered. But I wasn't planning on doing this because, as you know, shooters are not necessarily my forte or something that I strive to play. But I did have, for quite a while, a crew that played a lot of Left 4 Dead. New York comedians, basically, and then a few other friends. Basically, like a bunch of people who all wanted to play, and then if there were people we would play. Then for Left 4 Dead, Baer for Blood, indeed. We did it for Left 4 Dead. We did it for Left 4 Dead 2. It was a lot of the same people. So somebody from that crew, from those days, was like, "Hey, do you want to play uh, Back for Blood?" Because if you watch a streamer's stream for an hour, you can get a code, and you can get a couple codes. And it was like, I have a couple codes. I don't have any extras right now, um, but I've gotten a few people together. Do you want to play? And I was like, yes, yes, I do. So I watched. Luckily, my friend Ben was doing it and had some codes. Had some Twitch drops, so I jumped in onto Ben's stream as an audience member, and then an hour later, I was ready to go. Downloaded. Had to get a. Had to like remember my Warner Brothers password, which took forever, but I did that so I could link the accounts and do all that stuff. Did all the nonsense you had to do. Got into the game, and basically it's Left 4 Dead with like perks. Like there are cards that you can apply, and each character has their like bonus stuff, which really does mix well together. And you kind of need to know what everyone can do, and you unlock things as you go. And it was you kill zombies. I liked playing the mom because she has a revive, and there's a guy, Evan Gello, who he can break out of grabs, and that was nice because it let me escape and run around. Um, I did okay with the shotgun too, and the baseball bat. I tried out melee because I'm not a great shot. Uh, so yeah, so I tried out melee, and I wasn't too bad with melee. Um, Also using the shotgun, and then when things get hairy, running away worked out okay for me. So I did a lot of that. Our coordination wasn't particularly great. We were people who were, all kind of getting used to it. Some folks are in the crew that we played with. We played a rotating thing. I think it was a core three people, and then we would grab a fourth from if somebody we knew was playing or somebody had to go, and we would like figure something out. But we kind of were a mix of somebody who is still really into it, plays PUBG and Call of Duty, and goes plays a lot of shooters. We had some shooter boys, and then me who uh, does not play those much anymore, but did for a time and has never been good at it. Um, and it was really fun. I will say it was pretty fun. I mean, look, if you really really liked and were a big fan of Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, this is more of that. I'm not 100% sold on the cards. There's some stuff about it I'm not thrilled in. I think, look, you're going to hear more people talking about it because I'm sure people played it last weekend. So you're going to start to hear some people talk about their experiences. And you'll get, I think, a better sense from some of them uh, because I am not up to date with all of the modern shooters. This was more of like, well, old friends wanted to play, and so I played. That was kind of what it was. Did anybody? I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you checked it out this past weekend, or if you're looking to pre-order it so you can get into the other beta when that comes out. But yeah, I thought it's well made. There were a few. There's definitely some of the specialized zombies had a couple glitches here and there. There was definitely a like, it's a private it's like an invite beta, so it makes sense that there were some issues, but there were some issues. It's not perfect, it's not ready to go, it's coming out soon, so hopefully they're learning from this kind of like soft testing. That's the hope anyway. I guess nobody played it, which is fine. I didn't say you had to, but I enjoyed it, so I will say that I did have a good time doing it. So okay, we are getting one of the long friends, and this is go here. Then, oops. Okay, one of our long friends, and then a connector here. Okay. I had the opportunity to claim a code from a friend, but declined because I work weekends and figured someone else would get more use out of it. And Lashbrook, that is very kind of you. That is a nice way to go about it. I can very much appreciate that. Uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna. You know what? You know what? I don't do this that often. I'm gonna go read. We got low numbers tonight, and that's okay. But I'm gonna retweet my own tweet and see if we can get a few more friends to pop in here, and that would be nice. It's okay if we don't. It's okay if we're like kind of light, but Mondays usually are a little busier. So I would like to have a few more friends join us if we can. If we can't, I understand. So we need this. We need here. All right, so let's get into it. The other big thing that I want to chat about. Background. In December 2020, it was announced that Sony, who owns, among many, many other things, Left 4 Dead. The artist says Left 4 Dead was so long ago, and I don't know if I still dig that kind of game anymore. Don't really have the group of people to play either. I mean, Arctic, that is important, right? You do need a crew, right? Randos isn't going to be fun if you had people that you want to play that kind of game with. Because there's that, and there's another game coming out that's very similar, but I believe it's like Space Aliens is kind of their vibe. I can't remember that. It is a game that Will Smith, the internet's Will Smith, is that is the company that he joined was basically like an ex Ghost Valve just subscribed because also and bad Bald Ridge also subscribed because they've been gifted 2 subs by Aristofan. Lord Crash says I don't have a crew, so Left 4 Dead and the game don't seem like something that's worth my time for how long. But yes, Ghost Valve and Bald Ridge, welcome. Let's throw the Barricade logo emote, Scythe emote, and thank Aristofan for those 2 gifted subs. Appreciate that very much, Aristofan. You have now gifted 36 lifetime subs, and that is a ridiculously high number. I appreciate it very much. And now I'm going to go and make that. We're at 45 out of 50. Hell yeah, we are. We're still trying to hit that 50 number. It's okay if we don't hit that tonight, but that is a goal, and it's nice to have goals. It's also important to have goals. Should also say it is nice and also important to have goals. The nice thing about Back 4 Blood is that it's going to be on Game Pass day one. Yes, and Lashbrook, that will be huge for people. That might be an easy way to convince that 3rd and 4th person in your life, or or whatever, to be like, hey, you know what you should do? You should play this with us because you have Game Pass, so you already have this game. So just like, fucking get in here. That could be very good as a way to incentivize people to come and play the game with you. All right, working on our frame here. Okay, so Sony, not too long ago, a couple of years ago, they acquired Funimation. They also had Anime Lab, which has just recently been rebranded as Funimation. And then they also have another company, another anime streaming service that operates in Europe. I believe it's Germany and maybe another country, and I can't remember the name of it. I believe it starts with a W. I apologize for not being able to remember that. But yeah, they bought Funimation, and when they acquired Funimation, the agreement, the deal, not handshake deal, but it wasn't a consolidation, but it was an agreement that if you had a Funimation account on Funimation, some Crunchyroll shows would appear, and vice versa. If you had a Crunchyroll account, you could watch some Funimation shows, and you didn't have to have a subscription to both. And they were sharing their libraries, which was very fucking cool and great for anime fans because, well, there'd be some restrictions here and there. Maybe the dubs wouldn't be on each movie; would be subtitled. There'd be some Crunchyroll stuff that had dubs that they, because they had that, it did end up on Funimation. Also, I should say Sony owns Aniplex, which is why and almost everything made by Aniplex ends up just on Funimation, because that makes sense, right? And then often some shows that are on Funimation are also on Hulu, but if they are um, if they are on Anime Labs, then they wouldn't end up on Hulu. And it was this whole thing, and that apparently is getting straightened out a bit. But yeah, so you couldn't just use your regular Hulu that you were paying for anyway and watch all of the Funimation stuff, but you could watch some of it. Dirty says, I think that was the time frame when I jumped on CR to Verve because it felt like you one-stop shop for anime. Yes. So because of that, if you had like Verve, you could just watch everything right through Verve. You would get all the extra stuff. It was nice. Now, uh, that ended. That deal did end because Sony bought Crunchyroll. Um, or because Sony bought Funimation. So that deal did expire because Sony wasn't looking for that to be a thing, right? So that went away, and then that is why Verve eventually acquired access to. Also, Sony bought another thing that they ended up closing that that Verve had access to, which was a lot of like Korean dramas and soaps and stuff. Um, and eventually Verve didn't then made a deal with High Dive. So you didn't have to have a High Dive account. If you had a Verve account, you could watch that. And they have some dubs. And then High Dive is a very small company that I don't, that has some access to some things, but not a whole lot. Also, can't tell you if what the recently went through is going to mean that I don't know what that means for High Dive, if High Dive will remain on Verve, if Verve will remain. I would say if you like things that are quote unquote Verve originals, VRV, watch them. If you want to watch stuff that was acquired, they have some originals. A lot of things they call originals are things they acquired from CISO. So some CISO originals are on Verve. So I would say if you want to watch any of that stuff, you should now because I don't know if Verve is going to continue. Anyway, um, uh, in December, Sony announced their uh, intention to purchase Crunchyroll. So that was a thing that was said, and has to go through antitrust. People looking at it, the Justice Department, and people were like, well, maybe the Biden administration and who they put in the Justice Department won't be interested in that. Maybe this will flag uh, some anti monopoly looking, right? It's more likely with the Biden administration than it would be with the Trump administration, unless Trump decided that a Japanese company buying a company that was that was based in the United States was something that he wasn't happy with. That was like literally going to be the only way that that would have happened for that administration. So in this case, apparently they were started looking at it since May, or March, can't remember. March. In March, the Justice Department started reviewing it, and they have concluded their review, and they are, according to the press release that Sony put out, it's a done deal. Sony is going to acquire Crunchyroll. Now, what does this mean for you and for me? Nobody knows yet, per se. Will it be that you can go and sign in with your premium Crunchyroll account or your and watch everything? I don't know. Will it mean that you can sign in with your Funimation account and watch everything? I don't know. Will it be if you pay them monthly, if you pay one of them monthly, you get access to everything. If you don't pay them and you watch ads, you have to have separate accounts and they won't merge the libraries. I don't know. Will they lay off everyone at Crunchyroll that isn't a translator that they use, and maybe some people in marketing, and maybe a few people that have contacts, but most people will just get laid off as this merger duplicates a lot of stuff, including marketing and their their social media teams and stuff like that. I mean, that one's probably, it probably means that if you have a friend that works at Crunchyroll, they're worried about their job. That is what probably, unless they are a senior person. Doesn't Crunchyroll contract out its translations anyway? Yes. So those contractors could continue to work because they have been working on projects, and they may continue those instead of the people that Funimation hires. They may also continue with those people. But I'm saying those people have a better chance of continuing to work than the social media, the website people, the marketing people that work for Crunchyroll. Those folks are in a different situation because they are. It is not hard to believe or to look at that they might be redundant. There may be redundancies. They could run them like two separate companies. I don't know how and why they would do that, but they could run them like two separate companies and give the illusion that they are in competition with one another. I think that is the least likely of all. Um, uh, I would imagine that if you pay for one, you get both, or you know, and they make you either have separate logins or that are linked, or they do open it up so you go on Crunchyroll, you type in Yu Yu Hakusho, you can watch Yu Yu Hakusho because that's a Funimation property. Um, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. It's nice for people that like watch the first season of a show on one, like um, what was Love is War, Kaguya-sama Love is War. First season was on Crunchyroll. Now it's a Funimation show. So the second season on Funimation. So now if you didn't want have both and you didn't want to watch ads and wait a week, you could catch up on it. So that's kind of nice that is for that. That is like a nice thing about this. But this is like also for people that you know like to see competition. It's tough. Or they sell a bundle for services like Disney and Hulu and ESPN do. Yeah, it's also possible that there's a bundle. I'm gonna oh, while discussing all of this, it is important to say I currently have a paid for by someone else, given to me, gifted premium subscription to Crunchyroll. I pay Funimation monthly to watch stuff on Funimation. I do write it off as on my taxes for Funimation, but I do not pay for my Crunchyroll, and that is important as I'm discussing these things. Now, for consumers that are paying for both, theoretically they will pay for one, and they will be bundled together, and it might benefit them in the short term. Long term, I don't know. Um, It'd be nice for you, Flashbrook, the person who still pays for both and hasn't watched anything on Crunchyroll in months. See, I'm on the opposite. I pay for Funimation, and I'll tell you, because I can look at it, I am currently watching one. I mean, I'm not fully the opposite. I'm watching one show on Funimation this season. I'm watching How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, which is one of my favorite shows this season. There are other things I could be watching on there. I mean, Sunny Boy, people like, I wasn't into. Um, uh, Dungeon of Black Company. I know I have a friend who's really into that. I'm not watching that. So I could be watching more, but right now there's only one show this season that I like. Whereas I'm watching and talking about weekly 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shows. I'm watching 9 shows, and there's 2 other shows that I'm watching Crunchyroll that I'm not talking about weekly because I'm watching it at my own pace. So I'm obviously watching a lot of Crunchyroll right now. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I hope my friends could be okay. Uh, and they end up merging. Was this year the last Crunchyroll Expo? I'm going to imagine, yeah. Um, so are they going to get rid of the 2 brands? It depends on how those brands do internationally. The thing is right now, this is speculation based on, knowledge I have, but not like, oh, actually, is this in the wrong spot? Yes, this is the wrong spot. This should be here. I just noticed I did this wrong. So I gotta pop this out so that I can fix it. Yeah, I did this very wrong. I'm glad I noticed now. I mean, I would have noticed later when it just didn't work, but I did this very wrong. This goes like this, then this goes like this. Oh no, sorry. I don't know. Like, I don't know how they do international. Like, Funimation is obviously a very well-known brand in the United States. They've been around for a very long time. Before they had an app, when they were just the people that brought you your dubs and stuff that ended up on TV. Um, Crunchyroll certainly has market penetration here in the United States. I don't know what it's like internationally. I don't know if a lot, like, they do a lot of subtitles in different languages, but I don't know what those numbers are like. I don't know what Funimation's slash Anime Labs, which is now also Funimation again. I don't know what those numbers do. I don't know how they do and how people respond to those. Um, so I don't know if we're going to see one of those companies go away or if they're just going to continue. Um, uh, Crunchyroll Expo and this is probably because of the merger, they finally talked about like their first original, and you're like, Pat, they've made a lot of originals. No, I'm talking about the first one they talked about. There is a original anime that they've been talking about a very long time, like incredibly long time. Whose name I can't remember. It has I want to say it has like sugar or something in the title, but there was this show they were talking about for a long time, and they went dark on it. Or High Guardian, I believe it's High Guardian something or other. It looks like they teased it at Crunchyroll Expo, so that actually might come out. Lashbrook says it will be interesting to see if they roll CR into Fun because I'm grandfathered into a cheaper price plan on Funimation than their current one. Yeah, I don't know, Lashbrook. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think a lot of people who work for these companies know, which also, like, I haven't asked anybody I know who works at Crunchyroll. I am going to send out hey, I hope you're doing okay. Obviously, you don't have to talk to me about it, but I hope you're doing all right. And I was thinking of you. I'm going to send that to a couple people that I know um, that are employees at those companies because I do have a working relationship with the marketing and convention team for Crunchyroll. I have worked for them previously. I am very close friends with the head of not the for Verve basically going to conventions and Crunchyroll, not the Crunchyroll Expo side of it, but the like general. They have a booth at Anime NYC style thing, and I don't know what's going on with that, and I don't know what my friends are doing, but I do, I am concerned, and hopefully it'll work out. Sorry. This is not the best uh, method of not thrilled with this how these how it's like, all right, you put it here. This is like, yeah, you put it here. Not particularly thrilled with that. So this is the third one goes here. I know that. And then this goes in one, two, three, one, two, three. That, and that's just not attached to anything yet. That's weird. Up, above it. Okay. And then that makes a lot of sense to close it in. Great. Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't know where this is going. I'm hopeful my friends still have jobs soon, because it's rough out there, and also their field is specialized. One of the things that was nice about having two big names in this business, in the marketing in the United States, was that you could go from one to the other. You had another place to go. And when you don't have that, it does stifle. So then you have to look towards, okay, well, am I going to I'm going to a small, I'm going to Right Stuff? Am I going to High Dive? Am I going to, Retro Crush? Like, you have to start thinking about those things. because there aren't bigger ones. Do you move out of it into something else? Um, oh yeah, so Dirty. Yeah, this was I believe over the weekend. There was a story about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that a voice actress was saying that they had been doing work on Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and so that made some write-ups, I believe, over the weekend. Um, and that was enough that somebody officially was like, the official statement was being basically of like, yes, more info coming soon, but yes. So yeah, so Xenoblade, and I believe it is set in the future. I believe from the other ones. I don't know. I didn't look too much because I'm not uh, a Xenoblade Chronicles player, but I believe that was a somebody was like, hey, this is the thing I'm working on, without knowing that they were breaking an NDA. Uh, So, oops. Or if they didn't sign an NDA, who knows? And there was just the assumption that they wouldn't say anything. But they did. Now people know. Anyway, it's rough out there. I hope people end up doing all right in the world of streaming anime services. Also, Netflix is big because they were putting money into things they want to see instead of just licensing anime, but that still doesn't make them a huge player. Amazon, of course, is not a huge player, and they tried it for a minute and they're not anymore, certainly. And High Dive ends up with the High Dive seems to end up with like the dirtiest stuff that nobody else wants. Like this season, they always end up with like two shows. They get like the OVAs, the dirty OVAs for that. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Um, they end up with like uh, that terrible the healer like redo a healer, which is just trash garbage. And this season they have the guy who's like homeless and taken in and is now the den mother of like a college girls dorm, and it's just a horny show, as you could imagine. um uh they have a show on this season that has three versions of censorship. Yeah, so they do stuff like that. That is your like, I don't know, and I don't personally know anyone that has a High Dive account that doesn't have it because they have Verve, because that's not the crew I run with these days, but they're out there. um uh they rebooted Love Hina. No, Lashbrook, they didn't. No. Uh, no, they didn't. Um, Also, was listening in Game Scoop today, and there was an email where a guy mentioned he makes his kids sit through the full intro and credits on the anime they watch together, which gave me a chuckle. I like that. Like, no, we're watching the whole intro. No, we're watching I don't care if the second outro is bad and you missed the first outro. We're watching it. You got to get that. You can't. We're not skipping to the preview or the like bonus little mini part of the end of the episode. I do like that. Okay, we're taking a pause for the cause. I have an account for a while. They had a good selection of older mech shows and review Starlight. I mean, also High Dive has the movie, has the Non Biori movie, so that's how I watch that. Dirty's already throwing the emotes in there. Yeah, if you're a subscriber, throw the barricade link with the site, the emote in the chat. If you're new to the stream, I'm going to take a couple minutes to talk about ways you can support the channel. This is optional. This is not stuff you have to do, but if you'd like to do it, I would love it if you could. Subscribing, as I said, we're at 45 subscribers, trying to get back up to 50. That's the goal. So if you'd like to become a subscriber using Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token, you could do that. You could hit, you'd gift somebody like Aristofan who gifted, which was fantastic. We appreciate it very much. That if you would like to gift to the community, that would be great. That's definitely cool. Bits and coins, always appreciated. You could join that with very little bits and coins, but that's always appreciated there. Again, I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. All of this is optional. I have a Patreon. You could join my Patreon. You could get in there and you could vote on what I'm playing on Wednesday because $3, $5, and $10 patrons get to vote on that. The $1 patrons don't get to vote on that. But yeah, you can vote on what I do like once a month. You get to decide. It looks like it's going to be a Pokemon Fire Red. The randomizer I've been playing. It looks like it's going to be that, but it could be something else. But right now, that is what it's looking like in the vote. So that'll be fun. That'll be Wednesday. But it's close, so it could be Jackbox. Let's see. We did that. Again, Patreon 1, 3, $5, and $10 there. I also have a YouTube. Now, of course, subscribing to my YouTube is free, and please do because I make videos all the time, and I would love to see you there. But also, you could join my Patreon, or sorry, you could join my YouTube. $2 a month. You get my Wednesday video on Tuesday. That's right. So tomorrow, I will post the next video in the Best of Build with Baer series, and you can watch that. That is a thing you could do. Direct donations, always appreciated because I have to keep buying Lego sets and model kits. I do have something coming in the mail tomorrow. I had stuff come over the weekend. My backlog is pretty fucking rad right now. I've got some cool stuff in my backlog. But direct donations, because everything I make through Patreon, YouTube with AdSense, and memberships, also with the Twitch memberships, all that money goes into buying kits and equipment to keep and maintain everything I'm doing. Now, as I said, I have some cool stuff like the new full mechanics. I've got the Crossbone Verka 2, which I'm very excited about building. I've got the Hello Kitty RX-78 kit. I've got some cool stuff coming up in my backlog. But if you wanted something to jump the queue, you could buy it, and then I'll build that first because that's how this works. I have Amazon wishlist, and I have very inexpensive Lego, inexpensive high grades, hard to find items, some rare stuff, some old stuff, some new stuff, some stuff that's way too pricey. Like, why is the Gundam H2 Magnum from Build Divers, that master grade, why is that $81, almost $82? That shouldn't be $82. Why is that? But I have it on the list because, I don't know, maybe you want to spend $82 for me to build a model kit before I build anything else. But there's other things that are reasonably priced. If you see something on there that you would like to see me build, you could buy it. I'll build it on stream. Folks that are just joining, I'm going through, these are like my ads, and then we'll get back to building Lego and talking about some anime, because that's a thing we do here. Alternative to, oh, also I'll shoot a video about the thing. Like, it jumps the queue, but I'll also shoot a video about the thing that you bought off my wish list. So check it out, see if there's something there that interests you. I do also have an alternative that you go to USA Gundam Store. You could buy at USA Gundam Store a gift card, and then they send you an email with a code. Then you can send me that through a DM on Twitter because my DMs are open, and I will build something from that. Appreciate that very much if that's something you would like to do. If you want to support me for free without spending any money, join my Discord. It's a lovely little place. I post there after every build stream, post photo when I'm working on. You could see the progress that Lashbrook has been making on the Banshee Perfect Grade, which is very cool to see what they've been doing there. But yeah, people post stuff they're working on. It's cool. I recommend it. It's a good time. So we did that. A couple of videos for you to watch. I have a series on YouTube called Pat Baer's Anime Club, where I talk about things I'm interested in anime, and I ranked using Tier Maker all 11 isekai that are out this season. So if you were like, speaking of, I quit that kit, says Lashbrook. Oh no, Lashbrook, I'm sorry that you quit it. That I'm sorry to hear that, but you put so much work into that. You're almost done, right? But yeah, oh no, Lashbrook, I'm sorry. But yeah, Pat Baer's Anime Club, where I have been, I talked about, I said all of an isekai. I will have a new one coming out next week, but this is the one that currently is up there. And then I said I have a weekly series called Best of Build with Baer. You could check that out, where I just like, your only sort of series. Okay, Lashbrook. All right, well, there you go. Best of Build with Baer is just clips from this thing, hard bedded subtitles, because I like being able to do that on a short video like that. to add some captions for people. This is the one. This is a Hearthstone one, so it was just me like having a moment to just recognize that, like, yeah, this deck is great as long as these conditions are met. It's a fun little moment. If you ever see something during the stream that you think is great, hit that clip it button. I would love if you clip that. So clip that so that I can look at those clips because it's better. I try to clip when I think I'm saying something that's fun, um, but you can do that as well. And that would be great for me. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to start talking about some anime. We're going to get back to working on this kit. So let's get into that. Anime and overhead shot and mouse out of the way and water in my mouth. I thought we might finish this today. I don't know if we will. I think this will be a Thursday finishing up project, but we'll get into it because we still have some left to build, but this might be quick. It might eventually end up being quick. Who knows? Anyway, this, and I need the 2 of the red friends. Put this in here. Ooh. Oh, second half bells from, okay, Lord Crashing wants with that bell. It says, you know the ammo clip for the unicorn gun is kind of like an accordion shape. I have to individually build each of those clip sections, so 10 of them for 2 clips. Yeah, Lashbrook, that sounds like a lot of detail, and maybe you want to just tackle those a little at a time. But here's that bell, because Lord Crashing didn't want me to ring that bell. I have rung the bell. Thank you very much, Lord Crashing, for using your channel points on that. I keep saying I'm going to have a new thing for that, which I have not, but I will at some point have a new, I will add a new one at some point. Anyway, so I watched 2 shows I want to talk to you about. Um, and as far as anime goes, we're going to talk about Welcome to Demon School, and then we're going to talk about Spirit Chronicles. And I think both of those are fine things to chat about. I think both shows are good. A lot of good action in this episode of Welcome to Demon School. Look, Iruma's a kid, nice 14-year-old boy. He ended up, and he's in hell in the demon school, in another world. He's a human. He's trying to fit in. He's trying to hide, but he's gotten to do some cool shit. Like they just went to an amusement park. It's the first time he ever has gone to an amusement park, and he was like so psyched about it. It was such a good time. And then some big ass monsters showed up, and that's not good. In fact, it's very bad that these giant mythical beasts showed up to like wreck the park and ruin everyone's good time. And Iruma's like fucking pissed off about that. Um, and Iruma's friends who were scattered throughout the park, they've already defeated between them and one of their teachers. One did it mostly on her own, and then one of the teachers helped out a lot. They defeated 2 of the mythical beasts. But there's still the Carmine Dragon, giant dragon, still there. That's fucked. That's not good. It's gonna be real tough for them to defeat a fucking dragon. But they do have 2 of the strongest first year students, Sabnok and Alice. And the problem is that they're not working together. If they worked together, they might have done a better job. But they're competing with one another, and it makes them sloppy, and they don't do great. They could have done better, but they don't. Iruma and some demon kids that they're rescuing almost get hurt, but Balam steps in to protect them. And then Sabnok helps protect Alice, and he's like, we have to retreat. And he gets some good, harsh, like, encouragement to, like, work harder. But Balam, like, releases his restraints that he put on himself. And he creates this big wooden dragon thing out of his mana. He basically, like, has a little creature that he turns into a giant version of it, that looks like a big wooden monster, that he's just like, yeah, I got this, and, like, just wrecks the dragon, totally wrecks it. And then it's great because Alice is just like, We would love to train with you. And this is like, Balam is this like weird, scary looking, but not scary at all, but very intense demon uh, teacher. And like, he is incredibly surprised that students want to like train under him. He is like very flattered and very surprised, which is just cute. It's really nice. Um, but unfortunately, these demons have a backup thing. If and when all three were defeated, they merge together, and of course, the people defeating them are going to be tired. So Balam's like, "Ah, shit, I gotta fight this thing." Um, and Opera and Amari show up. Opera is like the butler who is clearly overpowered and like hugely overpowered. Um, and he shows up and he's just like, "Oh hey, uh, we're gonna summon the other teacher." So they summon the other teacher, and the three of them are like, "Cool, we're gonna work together. Don't worry about it." And they don't really work together so much as they just hit this big merged thing with all of their power all at once and wreck shop, which is very fun because they're always like, "Yeah, we're gonna work together." They don't work together. They just kick its ass. Um, but uh, it's going to explode. That's the So you thought, oh, there's these mythical beasts. Oh, they merged together. They're like, okay, well, we did it. They didn't do it because now this damn thing's going to explode, which you don't have to, I don't have to tell you, is bad. Also, it's heading towards the sanctuary where a lot, like the stadium where a lot of people are hanging out, including some of Irma's friends are like taking shelter there. So that's going to be really bad, and they can't stop it, and nobody knows what they're going to do. And that's when the most unlikely hero in any episode, the, I would say, most unlikely thing in Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun happens, which is a dude that got introduced this season and sucks, came in to save the fucking day. Ronov, Ronov is just, he's a, hey, look at me sparkly. Like literally that is his inherent power. His family like power is that he steals focus and he has charisma to draw attention, and he uses that like through song and dance, and he tried to like become the student council president to like ruin the school. Um well, we knew he was there in the park because his dad founded the park. Walter Park was founded by Runova's father, and he is pissed off that someone is fucking with his dad's park. He is legitimately real angry, and so he uses his powers to get the attention of this beast. And of course, um, he didn't fully consider that if he was drawing the attention of this beast that's going to explode, the beast would come towards him and it would be bad. And so he's like, I didn't fully consider that. And then, okay, but cliffhanger, Irma steps up and he's going to unleash all the power in his ring to like do something. Uh, so that's a good cliffhanger, and it's fucking rad that it looks like Irma is going to save the day because he's a good boy. Um, there is also a moment where he kind of recognizes that he, even though he did put himself in harm's way, there is a moment where he kind of recognizes that, like, I don't think hard enough about like my friends and the danger they're putting in. And I don't rely. I try to just like solve my problems by myself, and I need to think more about that stuff, which is good. It's Irma's growing. He's getting learning some life lessons. But overall, it was a lovely episode. Some cool action, and also I don't know where Clara is because she was with Opera and Amari, and then she isn't there when they came over, so I don't know where she ended up, and that's not great because uh, she could be in trouble. I don't want that because she's the best girl. She's wonderful. She's a wonderful, lovely thing, and also I wanted her fun reactions to things. So we're not getting that. So hopefully she's okay. Because also there's all these incredibly talented, strong people are downstairs freeing someone from prison, and you have to assume that that is going to come up. They're going to come up to the surface. So the battle is not over. But I don't know. Anyway, that's one of the shows I'm watching. The other one is Spirit Chronicles, which I'm I don't know how I feel about Spirit Chronicles. Like I like there's something about it that I really like. If you haven't been watching the show, our dude Rio, at age like 8, he suddenly realized I have the memories of someone. I'm a reincarnation of somebody, and I didn't realize that for the first 8 years of my life. But now something's triggered in me, and I know this to be true. And of course, he's like, but instead of I'm now this person. I now have all these memories. I'm a Japanese person. He's like, I have the memories of a Japanese person, but I'm still me, which is very interesting and not something you typically see. Where he's just like, these are memories. They kind of haunt me, but they give me powers and they help me unlock these abilities I have, the spirit arts that I use. Because it's very clear that the spirit that put this reincarnation in him, that he has a spirit that is probably somebody from Haruto, the memories, the Japanese guys, someone from his life. Um, anyway, he's got Lativa, who is traveling with him. She's a demi-human. She's a beast girl. She's got the memories of the little girl that was on the same bus as Haruto, which is just fucked. And she's not had a good life. Um, this show loves to time skip. This is, I believe, the third time skip. No, this is the second time skip we've had. Uh, yeah, because they've been at this village now apparently for a whole year, uh, which means that stuff that happened in the last episode didn't happen at the same time frame, which doesn't make any sense. But whatever, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, basically, there's a whole thing that seemed like it was uh, happening in the real time, but that was in the future, I guess. I don't know. It's confusing. Um, basically, uh, there is they've been there. This is the sanctuary. They've been living there a year. Um, Latifa is now a permanent resident of this village, which is full of beast people and also elves and dwarves and all kinds of big, basically no humans. And Rio is not recognized as a member of the village, but he is a sworn friend of the village, which is cool. Cool for him to have a very cool relationship with them. And they have a party and there's drinking, and Rio is like, I do not know how to deal with all of these drunk ladies who want to be better friends with me. I don't know what that means. But basically, Rio thinks, okay, well, it's been a year. She's acclimated. I've gotten stronger because I've been training in spiritual arts because I finally know what this is and got some guidance. It's time for me to continue because his journey is he's going to the homeland of his parents because they lived in a country before they came to the one that they eventually died in. So he's like, all right, I'm going there, gonna figure out some stuff. Um, and he tells Lativa, and she's like very unhappy about it. She kind of knew it was going to happen. She blames herself if she's like not strong or helpful or a burden, and she runs away from him deep into the woods to just kind of like deal with her feelings, which is a bad place to be because there are wyverns coming. There are fucking wyverns coming. These are big dragons, big black wyverns. Um, because this dude Reese, who I don't think he does that. I don't think he knows that Rio is in the village, in the forest. I don't think he has any idea. I think this is just Rio. This dude is just fucking around under his own agenda. But he steals a wyvern egg, and while they're chasing the wyvern egg, he doubles back to steal the rest of them. Uh, so a black wyvern shows up where Lativa is, and Lativa tries to draw it away, which is great. Um, but she gets caught, and it looks like she's in trouble. And then, thankfully, our boy shows up and um, just kicks ass, just completely and utterly obliterates this thing, like unbelievably. ridiculously easy with his fists and some magic that he now can use some magic via his spiritual arts, or spirit arts. Rio just completely wrecks this wyvern, and then all the other wyverns are like, we're out of here. And of course, they're about to find out that all their eggs have been stolen. But they at least leave the forest. Uh, and so it's time for him to go. It is time for our boy to make his way out and go on his journey. Lativa understands. She's like, "You better come back." And he has a sword that he can power through his spirit arts that will be real good. They made him a real emo, try hard kind of edge lord gear that is like a long cape and like a suit basically. But it's made out of the wyvern hide, so it's really strong. He looks a little bit like the later costume that you'll find in like Sword Art Online, that Kirito wears, just like as the Black Swordsman. It's real try hard. Very goth. He gets some potions and some food, and he's like, I can't carry all this, and they're like, don't fucking worry about it. Here is a bracer that is a sacred treasure. And he's like, what? And basically, it's a magic bag of holding. He can just like point it at some stuff and put stuff in some other dimension. So now he can travel with it, which is very handy. Very convenient that he now has the ability to do that, or he has that. Okay, so this go. Oh, this goes here. So yeah, let's see. It goes like this. Right. And oh, then there's the thing. Looks like next episode we're just gonna skip to him going to that country. Like I don't know how far ahead we're gonna skip, but it looks like we're getting another time skip of some sort. And like I said, this show really loves jumping from thing to thing and just doing big old time skips. This is not right. It's the wrong size. This is the right size. Yeah. Is this? Hmm. No. Right. This is wrong. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, this is wrong. Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna take a second here. I need this to be light gray. This is wrong. Okay, I figured it out. This piece here is supposed to be up here. So that's what happened. Yeah, sorry, Pat. I saw the mistake coming a while ago, but didn't know the rules about backseating. The top and bottom of that side need to be switched. Yes. Backseating is not a problem because here's the nice thing about Lego. I can fix this very easily, right? Because it's Lego. Because it's Lego, I can fix this. This will go in the bottom through that. This is going to pop out here. So it's totally possible. But yeah, don't worry about that. If you see me doing something wrong, you can always be like, hey, I think that's actually not the right spot, the right piece. That's totally cool, totally understandable. But yeah, I was like, this is the wrong size because this is the wrong piece down here. This is going to go down here, and this is going to go up there. And I just did it wrong. That is the nice thing about Lego is you can fix shit. So we're just going to pop this off. Pop this off there. And try to do it so that we're not damaging anything. That goes out. And this is going to go this. That actually might be annoying. Pop that out. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, the thing about Spirit Chronicles is it really seems to like to introduce companion characters and then have him leave them. Because this is now like the second major, and then also everybody else in the village is also a little bit, or minor. You could see them also going with him. Like he's like, I can't bring you because I don't know how dangerous it is. And it's just like, yeah, you could. You definitely could bring her. you're not going to, and that's whatever. That's a decision that but it just feels like they're just like, all right. Like I'm sure in the country he's going to meet other characters, and some of those characters are going to want to join him. Uh, and we'll see them later. Is my assumption. Who knows? It's a good show. I do like it. Um, I would say it's not my favorite isekai this season because my favorite isekai this season is how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. That's definitely more to my liking than this one. But I like it more than Moonlit Fantasy, which is just kind of it's fine, but not great. I guess Demon School. I'm really liking Iruma. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. I'm really liking that. And Drugstore to in Another World. If I wasn't watching it, I wouldn't miss it because it's fine. Also, I guess um, I'm looking forward to some fights. A couple big fights coming in. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, season 2, part 2. But right now I'm not like super into it. I think it's just fine. Um, okay, so let's see here. So we got that together. We got that together. We're back in it. We got the pieces we caught up. I have caught up in the pieces I put on by mistake, so that's great. And now we can build a side. Get some sides on here because we got that in there. The frames basically got that connected. Yes, and we got this here that's still kind of loose like right now. And now we get to put some big weird stickers on some of these parts. A lot of parts I haven't used before. Now some of these might be more common in the Technic line, but I haven't built a lot of stuff in the Technic line, so I can't be sure. Oh, now's a good time to ask you folks, what are y'all consuming? What you watching? You watching anything on YouTube? You watching anything on the streaming services? Did you watch The Suicide Squad, which I have not seen, but I am excited to eventually see that? Let me know in the chat if you're consuming anything, you're watching anything. You're like, oh Pat, you got to watch this thing. This thing is the best show on the internet. I'd like to hear from y'all about what y'all feel free to let me know. Eight. Red sticker. Sorry. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay. So there's a typo here. This is sticker number 6. Uh, there it is. Now it's the right number. Yeah. Okay. What's happening here? Sorry, everybody. That was weird. They're basically. I should be looking at this as 2 pages, but I didn't look at that as 2 pages, so that's why I was like very confused. Anyway, I got this. The movie is so good. That chef who wanted to run a pub, I swear. Yeah, this is that was talking about Arctic's rewatch Gunbusters OVA. I forgot how much pointless nudity it has. Gunbuster OVA has a whole lot of nudity. You're not wrong. Um, yeah, and then just watch the latest Nicolas Cage movie, Pig. It was good, not the movie I was expecting, and hit me like a sack of bricks. Yeah, I've heard that about Pig. Pig is apparently pretty polarizing between people who are like, "This is incredible," and people who are like, "This is not what I was looking for." Uh, which I tell those people, you can still watch Jiu-Jitsu, which is a terrible Nicolas Cage movie. If you want to see a terrible Nicolas Cage action movie where he is not the main character, but he is having a great time doing it. Jiu-Jitsu is not a good movie. Not a good movie. It tries to be like Mortal Kombat meets Predator, and it is neither of those things. And the main character is boring, and they have good actors who are not the main character. But yeah, I have not seen Pig, and it's been a long time since I've Gunbuster OVA. But yes, you are right that it does have lots of nudity. Holy shit. It goes very hard on the nudity for no real good reason other than, you know, porn. Mostly just horny. Alright, so we're going to put that there. Put... There it is. But yeah. Like I said earlier what I was... I mean, I told you earlier what I was watching. I'm enjoying the stuff I am watching, but it's like... I'm going to see if I can get other Taskmaster seasons from other countries, basically. I think that would be neat to do. Okay, so... Miss a step, is that... No, I didn't miss a step. This is just confusing. Like... Put this... Build this easy, and then it says, here's the one, here's how to build the other one. The other one on the other side? Yeah, this is... I'll say, these steps are a little confusing in a way that I am not thrilled about. Because building this one, they're just like, yeah, build it. Get on there. Kind of shady. So, basically... Here? Yeah. And that looks great. Okay. Kind of understood this. Anyway, yeah, I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster, and I'm going to see if there are any other countries, because I believe there's a couple other ones, but I don't know if any of those are subtitled or in English, and so I would, or in the English language, I would be interested in checking those out. Yeah, just, you know, I can just buy Pig digitally for $15. Oh, nice. That's fun. Yeah, I haven't seen Pig, but I have, you know, heard mixed things about it. I am interested in eventually seeing um, uh, the uh, the Suicide Squad, the sequel to Suicide Squad. Terrible, terrible use of naming. Terrible naming scheme. Because what's the third one called? Is the third one called The Suicide Squad 2, or is it called The Suicide Squad? I feel like it's probably called The Suicide Squad 2. I don't think it's a good way to do it. Call this one the second one. Come on. Alright, so this is going to go in like this. Here. Connect like that. And lock in. Ooh, am I missing a connector? Ooh, I'm missing a connector. I messed up. Back here. Yeah, I'm missing a connector. Ooh. Okay. I am. I missed a step here, and I gotta do it. This isn't really a sequel as far as I know. But it's the second... Here's the thing. There was already a movie called Suicide Squad about a Suicide Squad in the DC universe. This is another Suicide Squad movie, and they're just calling it The Suicide Squad, and that is confusing and weird, and I think it is a mistake to do. I think it is something they should not have done. That is my big takeaway from it, is that that is a weird choice to do that. Okay, so that was supposed to go like this. Great, I found the connector piece. I put in the connector piece that I hadn't done, which will make this way more stable. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like... I just think if you're going to have a movie called Suicide Squad, you shouldn't do another movie called The Suicide Squad. Because I think it's confusing. Even if it's done by a different director and a different vibe and all that, yada, yada, yada. I still think it's a strange choice. All right, these are now all connected. Now I can put... We are going to probably, you know, I don't think we're going to finish this tonight. We're almost done with it, so we will be finishing this up on Thursday, which will be in my next building stream. Will be on Thursday, and then I will But I will have a game stream. May I point you to the first Fast and Furious series? Yeah, Last Brook, they did a bad job there too. Because they did. The problem is that they did it right, and then they screwed it up. They did the first movie, they did the second movie, then they were like, "Oh, the third one won't call it number 3 because we're not going to make more than these. We're just going to do Tokyo Drift because that's like a different thing, and we don't have any of the real actors in it, and it doesn't matter." Which is a bad precedent because then they were just like, we're just gonna get really funky with the letter and the numbering on it. Like that's a bad choice. Like Fast Four and Fast and Furious, Fast Five, like all it's just terrible. All those names are terrible. It is a poor choice. They made a bad choice. But that the people shouldn't take the lesson they should take from that is we shouldn't do that. We're gonna do our movies. We'll just call them. We'll do numbers until it's a high number that feels bad, and then we'll just go with names. It's my opinion anyway. You know what? Everybody can have their own opinion. That just happens to be what mine is. All right, we'll get a few more of this done here. This has been a fun build so far. Like, you know, we've got more to do. We're not done, but I think we'll finish this up on Thursday, and I look forward to finishing this up on Thursday, and then starting something new. My $10 patrons over on patreon.com/PatBear, they're going to get to choose on, probably tomorrow I'll put the email out. They're going to get to choose on what I build next, which is, I like being able to do. But yeah, they're going to choose what I do next from a number of things in my backlog, including the crossbone, which comes tomorrow in the mail. So I'll put that up because I'll know it'll be here by Thursday. But yeah, they get to kind of choose. It's fun that I get to offer that. Okay, so we need 4 of these here. We need 2 of these. We need 2 of these. We need 2 of these. But yeah, I've got some cool stuff coming in the next couple streams. Cool kits in my backlog. The Hello Kitty RX-782, which can combine together. The Alley Strike is in my backlog. The Strike Noir is still in my backlog. The Calamity I now have, and the Crossbone version 2 or Crossbone 2 Verka is coming in the mail tomorrow. So I have all of those things that I can be building in the future, which is fun. Fun to think about. All these cool things that I can build. We're building 2 of these. I don't know what they do. Building 2 of them. But yeah, we got a little bit of time left in the stream. I'm going to finish this and then we'll see where we're at. But you know, we are going to raid at the end of the stream, so I hope you hang out for that. We are going to go and give a little bit of love to somebody out there who's doing stuff. I don't know who yet. We're gonna find that out. But you know, we always like to end streams with a raid and go share some love. So stick around for that. It's coming up again Wednesday night. Looks like my patrons chose that I am going to be building the playing another Pokemon randomizer that I started a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to be playing Pokemon Fire Red randomized, and we'll have some fun there. I'm probably on my own time going to level up some of the Pokemon so that they're a little tougher, a little sturdier. But like, I'm not going to catch any new Pokemon when I do that because if you haven't watched one of my streams, a fun thing that I do there that I think is a very, very good time is I allow people in chat to suggest names for the Pokemon I'm catching. So you can help me naming them, which is very fun. And then we end up with some in-jokes, and then, like, you know, a month later, I'm like, don't remember why we called it this. And then we have to kind of, like, think about it. Anyway, we're going to call the stream there because we've now done this and this. Got another thing to build that's going to go on the back of it. But yeah, we're going to call the stream there. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, we're going on a raid. That's what we do here. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. We're going to go and see who is doing stuff that we want to go and hang out with and send some love their way. So we will go see who is doing stuff right now. Oh, of course we're going to go hang out with Harris. Harris is doing a charity fundraiser, trying to raise money for by playing Halo with some people. It is his LAN party birthday party, raising money for Black Girls Code. That's right. I forgot that's what he was raising money for. So we're gonna go raid Harris. So if you have some money you can donate, or just good vibes in the chat. Good vibes in the chat will also help Harris out quite a bit, I'm sure. So feel free to go do that on the raid here. Let's go raid. Oh, can't list Harris on the raid there like that way. So we can do. Okay, so we're going to go raid Harris, so please come along on this. I hope you do. Watch Harris play some Halo and raise some money for a good cause. And I believe that if he raises $1,000, he's going to drink a very terrible beverage from Halo beverage from a long time ago. So I don't know how that's going to work. But thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. We're going to go on this raid. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you on Wednesday for some Pokemon. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.